What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 25. We started this off with Sheffield United, newly promoted back to the Premier League right now, sat rock bottom of the table in today's episode opener. Coming on the back of our defeat to Newcastle United in the last game, in the last episode. That saw the Magpies leapfrog us in the table as we drop down to 9th. And the question is, as we chase the final European spot with 12 games to go, can we get it? Can we get 7th place? Look, top 6, it's not going to happen, alright? It's just simply not going to happen. The top 4 seems set right now. Chelsea and Arsenal are going to get the Europa League spots. But 7th Europa Conference League is up for grabs. So many teams going for it, and we are one of them. So, Sheffield United, first game of today's episode at the Community Stadium. Put the pressure on right from the very first whistle. Don't know if you guys are the same as me, but like, whenever a loss in career mode, and a big loss, a big defeat as well, the very next game, I'm like so aggressive. It's really strange because, as many of you know, I'm not an angry character. I'm a nice guy, trust me. But when it comes down to losing a game, especially a game I feel like I should win, the very next match, I'm like in attack mode from the very first whistle. Get out of my way because I'm going to get some goals. In the end, we only got the one. A barrage of attempts in the first half were denied by Veripster, Sheffield United goalkeeper. Definitely earning his paycheck in this game. He kept the scoreline respectable. 9 shots, only one found the back of the net from an XG of 3.4, but in the end, that's all we needed. Roberto Gutierrez with the only goal of the game. So he's going to go back to 7th place with 11 games to go. But look at how tight it is right now. Just 4 points are separating 7th, where we are, to 12th Aston Villa as we're about to enter March. And some great news here as well. Final league game of February. Big Chris is coming back from injury. My word, we've missed him since he went down with a broken toe. So yeah, 11 games to go. Some teams have a game in hand. I'll say it once again, we're not going to get Europa League football. That's a pipe dream. But 7th, where we are right now, is within our grasp. Still, for the second game of today's episode, this will be the final game of February. FA Cup, last 16. The English Premier League champions of Season 1. Liverpool coming to take us on. And oh my goodness gracious me, 34 minutes in, I had a mini heart attack. Shot deflected, hits the turf, hits the underside of the crossbar, and surely it crossed the line. It certainly seemed that way. The referee got no buzz on his watch though, so play continued. From that we broke. Daniel Wass gets in behind Andrew Robertson, down the right hand side, but a veteran denied by a simple save by Alisson. And here's the goal decision system. When I say tight, I mean this is pretty goddamn tight. Like living paycheck to paycheck, this is inches away from disaster. Oh my word. Can you say inches? No, more like millimeters. Absolutely crazy tight decision, and the VAR comes to our rescue. I thought it was over. I thought it was over personally in real time. Thankfully it was not. The blades of grass keep us tied at 0-0. But unfortunately, holding on until the break, right before half-time, the Reds would strike. Firmino rounds Raya and gives Liverpool what was, to be fair, a deserved lead. And in 5 minutes after the restart, what a thunderbolt this is from the Belgian midfielder. Yeah, 5 minutes after the restart, Raskin makes it 2-0. It was such a shame as well because we were doing pretty well for like the first half an hour, first 35 minutes. But then once that goal got scored by Firmino right before the break, it was like a sucker punch, do you know what I mean? It kind of just took the wind out of our sails a little bit, not my confidence. And in the second half, the first goal, I surrendered possession inside my half by Jakobsen to give Liverpool a 2-goal lead. And then I did the same thing a few minutes later. Really, really poor cross-field pass there, going straight to our opponents, and Salah does the rest. You can't give Liverpool easy chances like that and expect to get away with it. You're not going to live to tell the tale surrendering possession in your own half against Klopp's Liverpool. So they went 3-0 up, and at that point the game was basically done. We had a couple of chances in the game, but I just didn't take them. And on the other end, every time Liverpool went on the offensive, they looked like scoring. Joel Matip converted this rebound here from a header, making it 4-0. And I think the scoreline, if I'm being a little bit kind to myself, slightly deceptive. I don't think 4-0 was an accurate reflection of how the game went. But my problem in this game was quite simple. Didn't take chances on one end, struggled to defend on the other, and gifted Liverpool easy chances themselves. And that is a recipe for disaster against the champions of Season 1. So 4-0 the final score. Our progress in the FA Cup ends there at the last 16. But, you know, like, to be honest, we were massive underdogs. I said it when the draw was made. Yes, we're at home. Yes, last season we reached a quarter-final of both the FA Cup and the EFL Cup. But Liverpool, one of the strongest sides in the country, come on now. We were going to be big underdogs for that game there. So I'm not too disappointed. Yes, disappointed about how we lost the game, but not disappointed that we lost the game, if that makes sense. Regardless, out of the FA Cup, 2 defeats in our last 3 in all competitions, and starting to have those creeping doubts coming into the back of our minds. Are we good enough to be playing European football next season? Well, I guess we'll wait and see. Still, as March will begin, as you can see, we had a scouting update and an academy update as well. I am not going to make the same mistake as last year, guys. I promise at the end of the season, I'll promote the vast majority of my academy players to make sure we don't lose them, because there's still some great players. Now, I think Keith and Welsh are the players I'm most excited about. You see our 3 fixtures coming here in March. The Aston Villa game actually gets rescheduled. It's just 2 games, West Ham and Everton in this month of March. But yeah, I think Keith, the Scottish striker, looks very impressive indeed. And Welsh as well, the young midfielder. Quite excited to promote him. We'll check their potentials when they eventually come out of the academy. Still, 43rd game of today's episode. Back to matters in the Premier League. West Ham, David Moyes' side, not having the best of campaigns by their standards here at the London Stadium for a London derby. We had the first chance. Ivan Toney rattling the crossbar with a header, but unfortunately, 63 minutes in, the Hammers would score with their only shot of the game thus far. Raya goes to ground pretty early. He's beaten by Vlasic, who turns it in to the unguarded net. Down by a goal, and I was thinking 3 defeats in 4 in all competitions. That's not good enough for European football. So we need a response, and 69 minutes in, we get it. I love this guy to pieces, man. He's the goal machine. There's no other way of putting it. Wind this guy up, pop him on the field, and watch him get you a goal or 2. Roberto Gutierrez does it once again. Tony with another assist as well. I'm loving the fact that Ivan this year is not just a pure goal scorer, but a support striker at times as well. 7 minutes after conceding, we're back on level terms. Once again, a familiar feeling of frustration. You see the stats come to the end of the game there. Our XG higher than our opponents, many more shots, but unfortunately just didn't take the chances we got. And I'm definitely feeling that as well this season. Like, even though our goal to game ratio has improved and increased significantly, I'm still missing a lot of chances I need to start taking. If we are going to be in Europe, I've got to make sure I take those opportunities and win those sort of games. Draws aren't going to get us 7th place with how tight it is right now in the league table, in the race for that final European spot. Everton away, Goodison Park following game, and oh my goodness, so close to deja vu. Sean Pratt, who scored here last season, hitting the post from range as it was still 0-0. And then 53 minutes in, I don't know whether this guy fancies himself as a distance specialist, but he spots Jordan Pickford off his line and hits the crossbar. 2nd time in the game he hits the woodwork from range, this time from the halfway line. I'm going for it, guys. I'm going for it. I said it's my mission. You know it is. My mission this year, score a halfway line goal. Hit the woodwork twice. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. And this guy continues to get close in the race for top spot, in the race for the golden boot. 66 minutes in, he's back at it again. Back-to-back goals for Roberto Gutierrez. Sheffield United in front of Goodison Park. High pressure, winning the ball back. Onyeka rolls him through. And there's Roberto to give us the lead. Stoppage time, up by a goal. Can we hang on to our first win in 3 in all competitions? The Toffees barely had a sniff all game long. We're playing lockdown defense, but James Rodriguez, with the coolest of finishes, breaks our hearts. Stoppage time, basically the only chance Everton got all game long. Little through ball into the Colombian. What does he do? No pressure. No pressure for James. Little heel-to-heel flick, and then the coolest of finishes, slotted past David Raya into the bottom of the corner. Yep, my reaction said it all. I was absolutely livid come the full-time whistle, man. Huge 2 points drop to Goodison. That was their only shot in the game. Such a familiar feeling in this year's FIFA, man. Conceding with the only shot on target against us in the entire game. And for it to happen right at the death, it's just as sickening as a blow as you can have. 1-1 the final score, and a really poor run of form for Brentford. At one point we were in 7th, we had destiny in our own hands, we've dropped down to 9th. The only good thing is we're only 1 point off the Saints, we're behind Leicester on goal difference, ahead of Newcastle on goal difference, and we've got a game in hand on the teams above us right now as well. It remains incredibly tight right now in that race for that 7th and final European spot. I gotta be honest, man. Seriously, 9 games to go. I think it's gonna come down to not who's better, but who can handle the pressure. Because of how tight it is right now, I don't think it's gonna be quality that gets a team over the line. You look at teams here, Newcastle, Southampton, us, Aston Villa. You'd say Leicester are probably the best of the bunch at the moment, I would say, in terms of the quality they've got at their disposal. But I don't think it's going to come down to who's got the best team. I think it's going to come down to who's got the right mindset, who can handle the pressure. And well, based on our recent run of late, and then that last minute leveler to Everton, you wouldn't put much money on us. And our following game, of course, to start April, the penultimate month of football in the top flight. Of course, it's going to be Leicester. We've got both Manchester clubs then after, then Aston Villa and West Brom as well. A really tough and grueling month of April, and it starts with potentially the biggest game of the season. Leicester at the Community Stadium. No wins in our last 3 games in all competitions and only 2 in our last 5 in all competitions. The form right now is not looking good for Brentford, but this is probably the biggest game of the season. The question is, could we handle the pressure and could we respond? Well, 6 minutes in, Brendan Rodgers' side went on the offensive. An incredible save from David Raya kept it at 0-0, but I was struggling to get out of my box, let alone my half, in the first half an hour. And as we surrender possession here and Yuri Tielemans picks it up, going for the golden boot, scored a hat-trick in the reverse fixture, but in this one, turns provider, offloads to Baku, just outside the area, and what a goal. Smacks it into the top corner, Leicester in front, and I was thinking, okay, I just can't do it. I can't handle it. We only got 1 chance in the game, 25 minutes to go, Kasper Schmeichel makes the save, keeps it at 1-0, and then with 8 minutes on the clock, oh, a calamitous goal to concede, corner whipped into the middle, Raya, he's a great goalkeeper, but every now and then he's just a bit too eccentric for his own good. Comes to the corner, gets nowhere near it, only half cleared, and Jared Bowen, the former West Ham and Hull man, makes it 2-0, and that was how the game would finish. Brentford 0, Leicester 2. Another game where we have a higher XG, but failed to get the points. 2-0 the final score. No wins in our last 4 in all competitions. Leicester going to 7th. We're still only 2 points behind with 8 games to go and have the game in hand as well. Sorry, 3 points behind, but still, it's a mindset thing. No wins in our last 4 in all competitions. Really, really feeling the pressure. The question is, can we get back on track with 8 games to go and keep ourselves in the race for Europe? But that was this episode of Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode, the penultimate one of Season 2, very soon.